of the Megalodon versus the Mosasaurus is here. Who do you think's gonna win? We reacted in part 1 to the analysis. Now, guys, we got a little bit more, and then the true battle from Goji Center. You guys already know who this is from.
Sharks are mindless killing machines.
Who do you got?
Thing of the past.
Let me know in the comments.
Meg, to suggest
or
that
do you have
real-life Meg
Moss?
may have been just as intelligent as the Meg seen
Moss
in the
or
film.
Meg? I've got Meg.
Did display signs of complex thought processing.
Meg's a savage.
Such as targeting the research station's glass and determining that this thing was indeed penetrable, figuring out how to properly attack awkward, unfamiliar objects such as this rollerball, and
I hate the ocean for this reason right here.
Effectively kill many types of powerful life forms, such as this giant squid and kraken.
I like this music. Hold up.
We witnessed this
Goji.
Chi, who managed to recognize pulses, associating them with commands. The real-life Megalodon, as well as modern-day sharks, are believed to have a fairly large brain-to-body ratio as well.
Fairly large brain? Okay, so he's smart. I like
found
it.
in birds, mammals, and reptiles in terms of memory, coordination, curiosity, recognition, and learning.
See, that would be just terrible for, like, today.
Of this animal's
he's smart and he's ginormous.
Can be found in a rare fossil found in North Carolina,
that would not be good.
Indicating that when targeting other carnivores, Megalodon was knowingly attacking the head of the opposing animal in an attempt to prevent retaliation from the opponent.
He just went straight for the kill, bro. I like it.
To a mosasaur.
He's a savage.
Using real-life specimens as a base model for determining intelligence, we find that the mosasaur group, as far as monitor lizards go,
is it mosasaur or mosasaurus?
The mosasaurus
Which one?
was probably
both.
Even smarter, as their brain cavities suggest that their brains were more bulbous and the cerebellum was larger than that of a non-archosaur reptile. This implies cognitive abilities such as counting, distinguishing faces, social hunting, and advanced memory and learning capabilities.
Oh, so the Mosasaurus is like that, huh?
Findings suggesting that these animals were able to figure out the anatomy of their prey pretty well.
That's pretty cool.
There
I'm
are
not gonna lie to you.
fossils of ammonites with cracked shells, indicating that the mosasaur would crack these to disrupt their buoyancy. And going as far as both adult and juvenile tooth marks on these, suggesting that the parents would actually train the younglings on how to hunt. InGen's Mosa was likely just as intelligent, with its genome not being purely that of a mosasaur, but most likely involving other animals.
The motion test? Yo, I'm still going for the Megalodon in this battle. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Whales, possibly
the battle is at the end of the video, guys, so just wait on it. We gotta finish the rest of the analysis.
Throughout its appearances. Furthermore, this animal's curious tendencies and even figuring out ways to hunt outside its typical habitat implied that it's a very figurative creature.
See, he looks cool there.
Meaning that the longer the fight plays out, the better it will figure out the Meg.
So Meg has to just finish it ASAP.
On the spot, the edge will go to the Mosasaur.
Bro, the edge has gone to the Mosasaur so many times.
So weaponry, there's another equally important factor to discuss.
And which would be?
Number 8, experience. Unlike the previous section where the most figurative creature wins the edge,
who's been alive
we'll
longer?
Take into account the repertoire of opponents that each of these had to face throughout their respective lifespans. It is unknown how long these Megs have lived underwater, but taking into account where they come from, they are not only familiar with what is down there, but also familiar with the effects of different depths.
I'm going Meg, man. We gotta go Meg.
Megalodon had a few biological traits changed. These specimens had a much higher tolerance for cold, low-visibility waters. Its familiarity with this environment would mean that if it took the fight to deeper water, it would most likely have an edge down here.
Okay, so he's got to go deep in the water.
Meg was accustomed to fighting other large, hostile creatures that thrived in the depths of this trench, unlike the Mosasaur, who really never faced another underwater sea monster of this category. The Mosa
so maybe if he grabs him, brings him down.
Alone in her enclosure. After her escape, the biggest animal she could have encountered was a blue whale, which isn't going to be the type of animal to pose a huge threat to the Mosa.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a battle.
If we take a look at a speculative repertoire of the opponents these two probably had in the past, we find that the Meg would have the edge when it comes to combat experience.
Finally, we get one of them.
Time to take a look at these animals' weapons.
Weapons?
Number 9, bite effectiveness.
Could you imagine the Meg pulls out a machine gun?
This edge will prove that it has the strongest,
it just pulls out a rocket launcher,
bite, as well as being equipped with the
that
best
would be hilarious.
Of teeth.
And very scary.
With the Megalodon, these animals lived up to their name by having the most deadly set of teeth of any marine creature in existence. These teeth are a bit similar to those of a great white
How big
shark,
are they?
But different in that they are wider and much more robust.
Probably the size
Flat
of me.
on the outward-facing side and rounded in the inner, this helped transfer impact force along the wide shape of the tooth.
I need a size of the tooth. That's what I need right now.
That were not attached to the skull of the shark.
How big is the shark's tooth?
Independently. That's right. This adaptation of the jaws allows the shark to lift their head and thrust their mouth forward to bite prey. Some real-life sharks' jaws are reinforced with calcium salt deposits that give the surrounding cartilage more strength, allowing this shark to both inflict and soak up massive amounts of impact force.
He's crazy.
What about the bite force? It is estimated for Megalodon's jaws to reach 25,000 psi at the front of the jaw and a whopping 42,000 on average at the back of the jaw, close to the muscle attachments.
That is insane.
Note that if this shark does land a bite, most of the force will be inflicted by the front part of the jaw based on how these work. But the damage has just begun. After clamping its teeth, this shark would shake its head, thrashing at the victim, leveraging the sharp edges of these teeth to literally saw off a chunk of flesh.
Yeah, your flesh is gone.
Amounts of blood loss is impossible after getting clamped on by these teeth. After all, this was the animal notorious for rushing whales down and biting their tails clean off. This scene here is entirely plausible in real life, given the resistance of these teeth and the power of this bite. So, how does InGen's Mosasaur compare?
I mean, his teeth, I think, are smaller than the MEG's.
The website back in 2015
but I don't know.
listed the Mosasaur's bite force at 13,000 psi.
13,000? That's nothing.
Than that of a T-Rex.
Nothing to,
However,
the MEG, anyways.
is admittedly a somewhat shaky metric to use, since it really relies on a specific amount of surface area of effect as much as it does on actual force.
See, I don't know a lot about PSI,
so a specific amount of
I just know that was a lot less.
Higher PSI than an animal that has more teeth making contact on a certain object, distributing the same force on more pressure points.
That makes sense.
Therefore, it's possible that the bite force of this Mosasaur would have fluctuated as its teeth arrangements changed as well, or depending on the type of target it would bite on.
Okay, that's true.
Mosasaur teeth come in different varieties, but can be described as conical, curved, robust, and slightly serrated. Similar to those
how they
of a
know
killer
it's the
whale.
dinosaur's teeth, bro.
Scaling
Like,
up to InGen's
how would they know
these
that?
would be a whopping 6 to 8 inches long, with the longest being around the middle of the jaw.
8-inch tooth!
In order for these to inflict maximum damage, these would first have to pierce and then rely on violent muscular movements for it to tear flesh. When we combine this type of bite damage with the momentum of the impact, we are dealing with a type of bite that could inflict deep, piercing wounds if the Mosasaur manages to wrap its mouth around that body part.
That's if.
Both of these two types of bite methodologies are quite devastating. But only one of these will win the edge in this battle.
Who gets it?
Because of the build of these two creatures, the stout build of the MEG will make it most difficult for the Mosasaur to actually open its jaw wide enough to clap down and rip flesh comfortably,
big body
limiting these bites to the narrower areas of its body.
You'd have to go for the tail, yeah?
Because it has a much more deadly bite, the Megalodon takes a critical edge when it comes to bite effectiveness.
Critical!
Believe it or not, there is more these two have to offer in terms of weaponry. Number 10, auxiliary
the machine
damage. Upon first glance, these creatures would seem like they can't do
auxiliary
much else
damage?
other than to bite each other to death, but you'd be wrong. Both of these creatures, as well as other marine animals, have been seen countless times to deploy another attack methodology, ramming.
Oh, wow.
That's right, both of these animals are capable of exercising this maneuver to maximum effect.
Oh my!
But who does this better? To find out, we'll have to account for 3 important factors.
I would say the MEG does it better because he's bigger, you know what I'm saying? He's beefier.
Sharks are very well capable of ramming into prey, sometimes on purpose, but mostly to set themselves up for a follow-up bite.
Yeah.
This can be done from the side or from below. As sharks
and I don't
age,
think
their
the moss is ramming very hard.
Approaching a density similar to that of bone,
you know what I'm saying?
Making
He's
this
too
lightweight
pointy.
and strong material perfect for this sort of attack.
The MEG is
Their
thick.
nose, however,
Got
is
thick
pretty
body.
wide, meaning that any force, thanks to their superior swimming speed, will be mitigated because it will be spread along a wider
It'll slow him
surface
down
area.
a little bit.
This MEG can accelerate faster than your average shark, however, so this guy will have a higher ramming force than a real-life Megalodon. This was seen in how this Meg effortlessly rams into reinforced objects such as hardened glass or steel.
Just takes
that
lady out.
We have a slightly slower Mosasaur, but one that can accelerate much faster and has a smaller nose. At first, you'd think that a smaller nose would inflict less force,
See,
but
that's what I thought.
again, in this particular battle, this small nose will inflict literally tons of force on a large, stout opponent,
How many
increasing
tons,
the probabilities of a perfect hit. How much force? Around 26,000 pounds per square inch, traveling at 16 miles per hour.
That's a lot.
Assuming this was a perfect hit.
That is a lot.
Admittedly, most hits would reach levels lower than this, but really strong nonetheless. This would be enough to send pressure waves into the body, bypassing
He has to not
any
see him,
armor
though,
or
you know?
tissue,
The Meg's not going to
bruising the
turn
muscles
sideways.
underneath and rattling the internal
Unless he
anatomy.
just didn't see him.
And on the off chance that this Mosasaur hits the gills, then we have a serious wound.
It's an off chance, though.
Despite the shark's larger size and mass, the Mosasaur will be able to ram it with much harder force with little effort. Not to mention that this thing could ram more frequently, given that it is in fact more agile and can accelerate much faster.
Okay,
Compare the piercing power of a sledgehammer compared to that of a pickaxe moving at a slightly slower speed.
That's a good comparison.
Applies here. For auxiliary damage, the Mosasaur takes
We can
the
give that
edge.
to the Mose. We'll give that to him.
Almost ready to
Almost
unleash
ready for the
these
fight. Let's
monsters
get
to
it.
the battle arena. But first, we'll take one last set of important factors into account.
Okay.
X factors.
What does X factors mean?
Previously, both of these creatures
I'm giving it to the Meg again,
how
man.
They process oxygen
That's my
in their
pick.
system. But perhaps the greatest difference of all is how frequently they acquire this element, or how they can die of the lack thereof. In the Meg's case, oxygen is acquired at all times as long as it's swimming forward.
So if he pulls them backwards somehow,
for prolonged periods of time, or if it allows repeated damage to the gills,
maybe he
cause
dies.
This shark to drown. As this battle plays out, the Meg will run the risk of the Mosasaur finding this out. So, the quicker this battle ends,
so he doesn't know that yet.
The Mosasaur does not have the ability to extract oxygen from the water itself.
We're about to see the fight. Hold up.
It must swim up to take a gulp of air after its oxygen depletes. The risk here is losing enough limbs to prevent it from swimming upwards, or worse, being ambushed from below with an impact lethal enough to collapse the lungs.
Straight through the belly.
The stakes are high for these two creatures. Let's now enter the simulation platform.
I'm excited to see the fight. Come on, let's see the fight.
We are now ready to throw these two monsters in an underwater battle
to the
death.
The Meg versus the Moss.
Massive, stout, and
Who do you
heavy
got?
body
Let me know in the comments.
Wins the edge on armor, speed, battle experience, senses, and bite effectiveness.
He won 5 of the challenges.
Mosasaur, with its
or the analysis
agile build
thinkies.
and deadly weaponry, wins the edge in being less
How many did he
vulnerable,
get?
greater stamina, agility, intelligence, and auxiliary damage.
so it's kind of, it's even-ish. It's even.
Is ready.
Let's get it.
Coming up, the Meg versus InGen's Mosasaurus.
Oh, I'm hyped. I'm so hyped. The following simulates an encounter between Mosasaur and Megalodon in a fight to the death. A fight to the death! The alternative is death. Uh-oh, here we go. We got the Meg, my boy. All shiny and whatnot. You're looking good, Mr. Meg. What about the Moss, though? Where's he at? Oh, I'm excited. Oh, he's coming straight up! Oh, if he would... Oh, he should have came up from the bottom, you know? Not from the tail. But he doesn't know that. He doesn't know. He just has to go for it. Oh, he saw them. You can't let him see you, man. Oh! That was a nice move. Because he can't go backwards. He would have to turn. And now the Moss has the advantage. Oh, right to the tail. Oh, no. Oh, no. Come on, Meg! Oh, he's goofy. He let him go. Wow. Oh, he's gonna bite off that flipper. Yup, there it goes, too. He bit off one of his flippers. So he's gonna be less agile. Not able to do as much, you know, turning and whatnot. Oh, the gills? How you just gonna let him do that, too? You saw him coming. Why would you just let him bite the gills? That's crazy. I can't see anything. Where are we? Oh, there we are. I think the Meg was trying to go down to the bottom, maybe get him to follow him. So we could drop him off in the cold. Oh! That's a nice bite. Let's turn around. You said, I know you did not just come back and bite me off that. The face-to-face? Ooh! Oh my! I thought he bit his nose off, bro. I guess it would be the top of his mouth, but whatever. Oh, it's injured, I can tell you that much. Oh, he's coming up from the bottom. Never mind, I was lying. Oh! The Meg! Is it over?
In this confrontation between these two
Let's
animals,
go, Meg!
the Meg ended up as the indisputable victor.
Yes, he did.
So why did the shark win?
Let's hear it,
Upon
because he's
further
better.
analysis, we find that both
He's just
corporal
better.
armor and bite effectiveness were the battle attributes that weighed heavily when it came to determining the results
That
of
makes
this
sense.
battle.
He's got a great bite
because
and great
the
armor.
shark has the higher likelihood of detecting the mosasaur first, this battle scenario began with the shark attempting to ambush the mosasaur. Near miss. The Mosa manages to dodge the attack. After committing to the first charge, the Meg now continues
Mo should have
swimming
just
to
turned
wind up
around.
momentum for a second
Kept his
assault.
life.
But the Mosa strikes first. Having a stout body and thick skin is always helpful, and the Mosa lets go of the shark and resorts to ramming.
Yeah,
The
definitely
shark,
should not
aided
have
by the
resorted to
impact,
ramming.
Now turns enough to shred through the Mosa's hind flipper. The Mosasaur has never felt anything like this before.
He turned right around and got
She
him, too.
swims away, but now picks up on a weakness. The Meg now initiates a tactical retreat, but the Mosasaur is not finished.
Shoulda let him
Knowing
go,
that
man.
these
Shoulda
are a
let him.
weak spot, the Mosa reaches for the gills, but the shark's increasing speed only limits the damage inflicted by the Mosa. We are now in deep water.
That's
A
what it
dark
was. It was 'cause it
place
was
where the
deep
shark
water.
Takes full advantage.
Yep.
Injured but not defeated, the Mosasaur now knows where this shark is, and both find themselves committed to a frontal attack. The hardened head of the Meg proves too hard to bite through. Panicked and tired, the Mosasaur swims rapidly away from the Meg to reach the surface.
That nose.
In doing so, it gives the shark enough time to wind up the last attack. There's no swimming away
Savagery.
from this one now.
There is no swimming away from
Taking form
that.
as a combination of a hellish amount of saw-like teeth and a heavy body carried forth by high speeds, this shark managed to land a blow to the side of the Mosa. This provides little to no resistance to this sort of attack.
Absolute obliteration.
The Meg manages to crunch through the bottom ribs into the soft belly, spilling everything out.
That's
The
gross.
Mosa
You didn't have to
met
say
its
it like
end
that,
at
but
the
it's all
jaws
good.
of this Megalodon. But regardless of the outcome, there is no doubt that had these two swam our oceans, we'd be witnessing one of the most epic ocean battles in history.
That is a fact, and that is the end of this video. Did you pick the Meg? If you did, you're smart. If you didn't, that's okay. You got him next time. Thank you for watching with me. I will see you tomorrow. I love ya. Goodbye.